The new Superman film is an excellent movie, and I think you're going to hear a lot about how it's going to resuscitate not just the DCEU, but the struggling superhero genre entirely. Whether or not that's true remains to be seen, but there are 6 things that make this film stand out and worth the watch. If you haven't seen it, there are major spoilers ahead. Be sure to watch it and come back. And soon I'm going to be doing some deeper dives into the meaning of this film and a video on Lex Luthor. But for the moment, what were the 6 best things about Superman 2025? Let's start strong. Krypto. James Gunn famously loves animals. Anyone who has seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 knows that it is a commentary on animal testing and animal rights. I wouldn't have thought that Krypto would work, but Gunn makes him work by leaning more into the silly and comic and cute rather than shying away from it. Krypto by the end is basically a fluffy, tiny, slobbering, Incredible Hulk. Particularly the scene where he beats up Lex. It's reminiscent of the Hulk and Loki when Hulk grabs and smashes the puny god. But I think that Krypto is even better than the Hulk narratively, because you worry about Krypto in ways you don't worry about the Hulk. He brings an innocence and joy to the film, something that the DCEU has been lacking for a long time. Okay, speaking of a lack of joy, the second thing it does really well, Lex Luthor. This is one of the best takes on Lex I've seen. He's brilliant, scary, egotistical, and damn near all-powerful, without too much camp, unlike Gene Hackman's Lex, who was great by the way. He doesn't need to keep telling us that he's the greatest criminal mastermind in the world. He shows you through his actions. He's believable and dangerous, and you can't help but think that Clark is screwed, as Lex seems to think of everything. He's a clear commentary on crypto bros. Much like Jesse Eisenberg was a reflection of Mark Zuckerberg, this Lex, though, has even more depth. He remains in need of being fleshed out, but we can see that in the end, what seems like it is all about money and power is a deep belief by Lex that Superman is unworthy of the love that he is receiving. And that envy, which Lex is keenly aware of, is something Luthor applies to the whole of humanity. He isn't just jealous of Superman personally. As long as this god-like alien lives, it means that humanity must pale in comparison. It's a great statement about our fear of immigrants, our fear that if someone else comes in and succeeds, it requires that we must be second or failing. And so Lex wants to deny Superman not just life, but love. And where does that love come from? Jonathan and Martha. This film is honest to the point of a naivety, reminiscent of Clark himself. Kal-El is sent to Earth by parents who love him and want what's best for him and his people. It makes no sense that they would have sent him somewhere to be a servant. Rather, they send him somewhere that he can be a god. Who wouldn't want that for their kid? And for their people. But it's also monstrous, and that natural inclination towards elitist arrogance and narcissistic domination is tempered into a deep drive to excel and do good by Martha and Jonathan Kent, 2 people who easily look like they could be MAGA voters. I love this depiction of Martha and Jonathan. James Gunn builds a wide tent where all people ranging from liberals to Muslims to the MAGA world can find someone who believes that they are worth saving in Superman. Where the general tendency as of late is to get people who are famous and traditionally considered to be beautiful cast in every role, even older mentors like Martha and Jonathan. Think like Annette O'Toole in Smallville or Aunt May in the MCU. These 2 people are viscerally real. They speak, look, and act like rural America, and they bring dignity to that role. The reminder of why Clark's parentage is so important. The humility that comes with being someone who believes in community, hard work, and self-sacrifice. Speaking of politics, number 4. This film does not shy away from Israel and Palestine. Now, Gunn says he doesn't mean for the film to directly indicate any political or national space. And no, they are not addressed by name, but come on. One nation that has been our key ally for decades begins to invade another that has been at odds with us and our interests and has terrorist connections. Certainly art is imitating life, and Superman simply finds the whole thing ridiculous. He doesn't believe that Jarhanpur has done right in the past, but that doesn't mean they need to be invaded and killed. And this is an extension of his belief that everyone deserves saving. And the idea that the more powerful nation uses the excuse that they're just trying to save the smaller one isn't just Israel and Palestine, but also Russia and Ukraine. And this is important, whether intentional or not, because so many of us are terrified of speaking out on these issues for fear of being labeled or villainized, or even physically harmed. It gives us a chance to discuss something really of import and value. Okay, on a lighter note, number 5. The ability to gesture towards the past without it just being fan service. John Williams' iconic theme is used not just as a reference or cameo, kind of like the X-Men theme was used in Miss Marvel, but it's used as a foundation from which the composer builds and explores the entire score. Just like the title graphics and credits, which harken back to the 70s and 80s and films in a way that's somehow modern while also being retro, and as are the costumes. They're physical and lack the padding, form-fitting qualities of many superhero stories today. They remind me of the difference between Hugh Jackman and actual Olympic weightlifters. Hugh looks strong, but these professional weightlifters who aren't nearly as cut and defined have functional muscle. These suits in Superman are meant to be worn, and that's pretty cool. And it reminds me of all of the old superhero stories where the suits, they looked like clothing and not sprayed on or CGI'd. And finally, number 6, the most important, the idea that kindness is punk rock. While Lex couches things in terms of brains over brawn, Superman at the end outsmarts him, reusing Lex's phrase by calling Krypto. But Krypto is all heart, so really it's heart over brains and brawn. And this idea is echoed by Clark when he speaks with Lois earlier in the film, suggesting that perhaps his naivety, his desire to believe in people and desire to do good is punk. And that's awesome. And also sad. Because, to be honest, for something to be punk rock, it has to be out of the mainstream. It can't be pop, as Lois points out. Popularity makes something by definition uncool, and certainly not punk. And so yes, Superman and his belief in saving everyone, including squirrels and giant mindless murderous monstrosities, is pretty damn punk rock. And like all good presentations of Superman, it gives us inspiration and an ideal to achieve and aim towards. Okay, thanks so much for watching. What were your favorite moments of the film? Pop them down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please check out some of my other film reviews and philosophical deep dives into the superhero universe. Please do like and subscribe. It's a huge help in growing the channel. And have a super day.